All right, good morning, everybody. So for the folks that don't know, we run live video, but you don't show on the video. It's all pointing at me here. Some folks out of town follow us, through either Facebook or YouTube or on our website and things like that. We'd like to update people from month to month. And today we'll have quite a bit of updating to do. I'm going to try to make it as quick and as short and as simple as possible. But it's basically to show you what's coming up with Finch Q. And basically what it is from the beginning we've been saying this, the first Finch Q you put on your wrist is going to be the dumbest ever, yet not intended to be dumb, but it's just going to get smarter, right? So it's doing a leap in its smarts right now. But we have some new folks here, so that probably don't understand anything what I'm saying. So I'm going to give you a little intro. And the intro is the following. Technology hasn't really kept up with healthcare very well, like it has kept up with everything else. Like you can talk to someone across the world on your phone, on your pocket. But if you need to take a look, get the MRI from one doctor to another doctor is probably an act of God if they're in a different system, right? You may have to call medical records in one hospital to send it to another hospital. They're going to say our systems don't talk to each other and this and that. And that's shameful. That is just shameful. But what's most shameful to me is sick care, right? You don't go to the hospital to do health care. They're treating you because you're sick, right? So that in itself is very profitable, but it's for us, the users, it's a flaw. The flaw is you shouldn't allow it to get to that point, right? You should follow up with your doctor routinely so that you're always ahead of the game. You don't get to let yourself get sick. But the triggering aspect of this is I have parents, they're a little older than you guys, and they live very far from me. And I'm a physical therapist, Robert's a physical therapist, and we know what happens as we get older. I'm starting to even notice myself, right? Which is little by little things change. And a long story I used to tell is about the boiling frog. If you heard the story of the boiling frog, how you boil a frog, right? The frog doesn't notice. And we don't notice ourselves changing until it becomes sick care. Now you're in the hospital, right? Either because you took a fall, broke a hip, have a brain bleed, or became diabetic, or have kidney failure, get a stroke or a heart attack or something like that. But it does not come without information. It's just the information that we don't get because we're living our lives. We are the boiling frog, right? But nowadays technology is so good and so ubiquitous. It's on everyone's wrist. We have something with sensors. And these sensors, for the most part, people are making little games with it. And they're making, little cute little apps. They're all fun and games, and good, all right, but that's not what we're about. What I would like it to happen is that we stop doing sick care, and we start actually watching for health care. So, seeing you while you're healthy and keeping you that way. And there is no better advocate to this than you yourself. If you depend on someone else to do it for you, it will be too late. You'll be in the hospital. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost your life many times. It doesn't have to be like that. But none of us is trying to give you a job either, right? What we want to do is to have technology do the job for you. But this technology needs to belong to you. If it belongs to someone else, now you're not in charge. So the beauty of having things being yours is that you're in charge, right? And we can only bring a horse to water. The horse drinks if the horse is thirsty, right? What we want to know is that you know where to find water, right? When you need it. So I'm going to kind of come around and bring it all together. So first of all, new now to this decade, we have a big computer on our wrists with a bunch of sensors. These bunch of sensors catch up a bunch of information about you and just goes out in the air. It does nothing with it. That's what it's there for. It's for someone like me to come and do something about it, build something with it, use those ingredients to make a cake with it, or if it's a gamer, to make a game with it, or if it's somebody that likes, to show pretty images or this or that, to do something with it. We decided to do something about health because that's our background, right? Not only a background as clinicians, but a background as I'm the kid of aging parents. I don't want them to fall. They live over 4,000 miles away. I can't just hop on a car and be there this afternoon. So it would be very nice for them to be well informed if they're willing to let me share in on the information, knowing that I'm not peeping on them. So whatever we built here is private to the user. The user can share it with whoever they want. Right? I'm sure all of you have heard of artificial intelligence of now, and everybody's turning people off to some extent. There's some people that are worried about, some people that are happy about it, and some people that still don't know what to think of it. And I was taking a shower this morning and I was thinking exactly about this, because I'm immersed in it, and I can see all the possibilities, all the spectrum. I can see the people that says this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, literally. This is going to make life easier, better, cheaper, more efficient, smarter, all kinds of good things. And I can see the bleep hitting the fan and things going awry and not doing well because things were not well used. And what occurred to me is that if you have the ingredients to a cake, you can make a beautiful wedding cake. Or you can make one that has poison to kill rats. And you can choose what you're going to do with this. But the main thing is that the user needs to know what it's doing for it. So, or it can go either way. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And you want to use it to what is good for you. Take advantage of what it benefits you. Because we're not going to have much of a choice for if there are bad agents out there that take it to another notch, another level, another way that is not good for us. Right? But because it's intelligent, it can magnify everything that you want done for you. So it makes your doctor smarter, makes the system smarter. And we're building something that goes on your wrist to make you owner of that smart. Okay? And we call it Finch Q. Finch Q, as it is on the App Store right now, it's an app without competitors at the time. And it's, so in a way, it's like there's nothing else like it, but it's the dumbest of its generation. There's nothing else, so it's really smart for that matter. So it's like if I take, a 2-year-old from today and take it to the Stone Age, well, that 2-year-old is going to be super smart for the caveman, but still a 2-year-old, right? So the one that's on the App Store right now, it's useful, but it's going to get a revamping in the next few weeks, and it's going to have a college degree, right? And then after that, we're building its master's degree, its PhD. It's going to get smarter than a PhD, I promise you. Okay? So today I want to show you what that is. And what happened is the watch has its limitations. It's a super powerful computer, but it's not as powerful as the phone is. But now we have both together. So the update that will be coming will have phone and watch at the same time. For one, it makes it easier if you don't see well, if your finger's a bit too thick for the phone, for the watch, if you don't hear very well. Now, on the phone, it will be bigger. And you can even put it on your TV like I'm going to put on mine here for you guys to see it. Okay, that's the one thing. But the most important thing is it opens the capabilities where I can have, because of more computing power, I can have more intelligence on it. better connectivity. And it will be easier for you to share this information with whoever you want, your doctor, your hospital, your family, your friends, your team, whoever you want, and for you to be able to see it. The Finch Q on the App Store right now, there's a button called At a Glance, and if you tap it, it'll give you an update of how your health metrics are of that day. So just a little robot. Just go there and vomits things out for you. It writes them, okay? The next Finch Q, you want to write to it and text back and forth with it, you can. But you can also just talk to it. And you can just say, how am I doing today? Or you can say, I have something very specific. I'm going to take an ECG right now and I want you to tell me in detail what you see because my doctor wants to know. Or I have this old amoxicillin in my cabinet and I'm feeling a little itch when I pee. Can I take it? And he'll tell you what to do about it. He'll tell you not to take it. Right? But it will explain it to you. So I'm just throwing a little trivia. And then you may ask for the lotto numbers, and it will tell you, get lost, because this is not what it's about. All right? It's not about that. It's about your health and your wellness. But you can just have a conversation. Maybe, you know, my mom or my dad is lonely one day, and my mom is out, and he wants to talk to someone besides the dog, and he can talk to it. Okay? So that's the next Finch Q coming up. Okay? And it will be more interactive. When he finds something, he will come and tell you exactly what he found on a notification. Just like the one that does now, except this time way smarter. Some people will think that there's someone behind it making those calls. It's not. It's still happening on your device. I don't get access to anything. I don't see what's going on. It's always private to you. Okay? So the way this one looks now, it's going to go on this TV. So what you will be seeing is my phone. Okay? Now, the phone itself will do very little to know about you, because the things that capture what goes on with you is on your wrist. So the phone doesn't substitute the watch. They complement each other. So this one picks up on the information. And then both of them process, understand the information. And you can interact with it easier and better and more powerfully here. But you will still be in the need of the watch, because the watch is the one that captures your heart rate variability. That's where you read your EKG. That's what counts your breaths. See how well you're doing with your glucose, your blood pressures, and things like that, right? So you collect those things. So here is the latest prototype that I wanted to show you. So it looks like this for the folks online. Okay, right there, Robert? All right. Now if I do it like this, you guys here can see it on TV, whatever happens to my phone here. So if you want to see a little bit bigger, you can do it like that. You want to put it on your iPad, you'll be able to put it on your iPad. Okay. But the phone is what you carry around. But you're at home and you want to play with it, take a look at it, talk to it, you can use your iPad. Okay. Whereas before we just had the watch, that's all you could do. So I'm going to show you what it does on the phone, and then I'm going to show you what it does on the watch. Okay? So besides being able to, a little bit easier, to input things such as, inputting your weight, for example. Because the watch is not a scale, right? And then you may have a scale that is automatic and it automatically feeds it, but if you don't, you can put it manually. And if you suffer from CHF, for example, you want to measure yourself every day, take your weight every day. And then
What's CHF?
Congestive heart failure, people that eat too much salt and then put up a bunch of water weight and then end up in the hospital because they can't breathe. So those people need to be weighing themselves every day, following what their doctors tell them to do. And if Q finds out that you're putting a lot of weight really fast, He knows it's not because of the donuts, he knows it's water. And he'll be telling you that you need to call your doctor and send them a report. Okay? And your doctor can probably fix that over the phone. Whereas if you don't do that, by the time one day in the middle of the night you can't breathe because you're laying in bed, now it's emergency room. So that's the difference that I want to make, is that you can have a phone call to your doctor, they just adjust your medication, tell you to stay away from salt, or emergency room in 3 days in the hospital. And a big bill. If not to you, to Medicare. Right? That is sick care. This is health care. We want to keep you healthy. Right? It won't cost you anything. You're just going to do the right thing, and then you stay out of the hospital. Okay? That's just one example, congestive heart failure. It could be something else. Because the sensors are picking up on all this data, and they're continually computing it and making connections here. So if your heart rate is going up, and your pulse oxygenation is going down, and something that most people don't know what it means, but your heart rate variability is going down, and you're walking slower, and you're so slow that you're spending a lot of time on 2 feet like this, it starts to think about like a clinician is thinking. It's like, what could possibly be going on here that all these things are occurring like this? And it will present it to you, says this could be something serious. Maybe you got the flu, maybe you got COVID. Where the watch won't test your nose, it will tell you that this is serious and you should address it now before you actually fall ill. Right? And that is the difference about taking a dose of Tamiflu at home or coming to the hospital for 5 days. And some people coming to the hospital and not leaving the hospital. I hate to be doomy and gloomy, but I work in a hospital. Not everybody that goes in goes out. It's serious. Whenever you go to the hospital, we don't like to say it like that.
If you think it could be serious, ask me to call emergency services or someone you trust.
So, right?
Whose contact info are you looking for?
I don't know which one is the one that's picking up on this.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's
all
me.
right. Good morning.
All right. There's so many devices here, but I don't know which one is picking it up. Anyway, we're back to Q. And I'm going to introduce to you Finch Q, right? I'm going to introduce Q, the part of Finch Q that is the smart assistant. And Q is this guy right here. Okay? This guy right there. Okay? Right there. I'm going to tap on it, and it's already listening to me, so I'm going to talk to it. Hello, Q.
Hello, Armin. How can I assist you today with your health and wellness metrics?
So I took an ECG earlier, and I would like you to give me a rundown
Your
on it.
ECG shows a sinus rhythm with an average heart rate of 76 BPM. If you have any specific questions about this result or need further information, feel free to ask.
I'm going to take another ECG, and I want you to take a look at it.
It seems you would like a summary of your current health metrics. Here's an overview.
So I'm going to take another ECG right now, because that one has been done earlier. And it's just going to look at it, and it's going to give me an update. I'm going to be quiet now so my ECG runs right.
So the watch is doing the EKG?
Yeah.
Initially.
All right, so I have an ECG on my system now that I just took. Because the one you looked earlier was from, I think, February 17th, said, right? Something like that. I'm going to ask for an update on my ECG, so let's see if it's already ran through the internet and back to me. Q, give me a rundown on my latest ECG.
Your latest ECG recorded on March 1st, 2025, at 10:19 a.m. shows a classification of sinus rhythm, with an average heart rate of 76 BPM.
Are you able to give me more details?
Here are the details from your latest health metrics. 1. Walking step length, 27.00 centimeters, increased 2. Average walking heart rate, 103.5 BPM, decreased, which is beneficial. 3. Heart rate
So
variability.
he went on to look at everything about me that it wasn't quite right. Either it was better than right or worse than right. And he tells me better or worse, right? But I can talk to it now, like I would have talked to a person. So some of these things that he said, I am certain some of you would not know what he means. Then I can say, what do you mean by this, right? So explain it to me. I don't understand what you're saying. You can say it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do one more thing. And you guys can ask me questions, okay? You can ask, but this one knows me. Yours is gonna know you. So you cannot ask something about your health to mine, because it's gonna say, well, I'm talking to Armin, therefore I'm gonna look into his heart rate, right? There's no way to know your heart rate, right? So,
This could be very depressing.
For some people.
you know what is more depressing?
He doesn't have.
You know what's more depressing? When you're laying in the hospital there and they decide to run a wire into your arteries, go all the way into your heart. That is more depressing, right? So I'd rather you get depressed at home and fix it than end up in the hospital with a wire inside of your heart. So Q, I don't know if I have taken my blood glucose lately. Can you check for me?
Your blood glucose level is currently recorded as 0.0, which is outside the normal range of 70.0 to
I haven't checked.
140.0. It is advisable to check your blood glucose again and consult a healthcare professional if you have concerns.
So Q, are you a doctor?
No, I am not a doctor. I am a health and wellness assistant designed to provide information and support regarding your health metrics.
How can you help me and my doctor to, make it better for me?
I can assist you and your doctor by providing detailed tracking of your health metrics, such as blood glucose levels, heart rate, walking speed, and other fitness data. This information can help identify trends, monitor changes over time, and support discussions during medical appointments. Additionally, I can offer insights on your health metrics to help you make informed decisions about your wellness.
How is my fall risk at the moment with the stuff you know about me?
Your increased walking double support percentage, 0.2868, may indicate a higher fall risk, as it suggests changes in your gait stability. Additionally, the decrease in your 6-minute walk test distance and the decline in your VO2 max could also contribute to concerns about mobility and balance. It is advisable to discuss these metrics with your healthcare provider for a comprehensive assessment of your fall risk.
I don't know what walking double support percentage is. Can you explain it to me?
Walking double support percentage refers to the proportion of time during walking when both feet are in contact with the ground simultaneously. An increase in this percentage can indicate a slower walking speed or instability, which may be associated with a higher risk of falls. It is an important measure of gait stability and balance.
Some people may not want to talk to it.
Walking double support percentage is a
So-
measure of how long both feet are
I
on the
don't know
ground at the
if you
same time while
if you saw what I
walking. It is
talked, what I tapped here, but I'm going to tap on the keyboard. Let me start this over. I'm going to tap on the keyboard, and now the keyboard stops it from listening to me. Like when we were at Betmart, it was very noisy and we couldn't talk to it. But I could type it, right? So, and for some people, they may feel better typing it. So if I go in here, now I can speak freely, can be noise, it could be TV, music, whatever. Because if you have your TV and you're talking to it, it's going to pick stuff from the TV, right? So now I can just type and I can say whatever I want to say. So I'm just going to say hello. And then it will talk back to me.
How can I assist you today?
And it will write here. You read it like a text, basically. Okay? So we see a few things for which you would be helpful. For example, sometimes doctors talk to you in ways that you don't understand and they're out the door. Right? You could ask it, what does he mean by that? Just like I asked, what does he mean double support stand? Right? For most people, they don't know. I'm going to make it talk more simply than this. This is still a prototype. So you could get a report from your radiologist, because nowadays you get your report even before your doctor gets it, right? Some of you should be able to do that. And you can run it by it. You can say, what does this mean? There's a shadow on my left lung, insula, right? Or, there's a hairline fracture on my clavicle or something. That, for most people, they don't know what that means. They don't know so you can say, explain it to me. And you can even say, explain it to me like I'm a 12-year-old. And you explain it to you like you're a 12-year-old. So that, and you can say, well, so you can tell it to do the language that's right for you. And if you still didn't understand, it's like your personal assistant. It works for you. And you tell it, no, I don't understand it. You got to make me understand. Okay? So, besides the mission of helping my parents not to fall and giving me peace of mind, we would like to start something that shifts from sick care to health care. Because this thing about healthcare is propaganda. They only take care of you when you're sick.
Did you mention anything about Finch score today?
Well, for the folks that are here, they already know what a Finch score is, right? But you weren't here before, so the Finch score is that big number in the middle, right there. And that is just for you at a glance to know how everything is. So we throw all the ingredients of the cake in there, tell it, cook it up. Give me a number. So think of a credit score. You take a look at a number from your credit score, and you know if your credit is decent or not decent. And that is equivalent to your credit score for your health metrics. So it's looking at several things, and just for you at a glance, quickly, so it's like, okay, my number is pretty good. So if that's all I want to know, you just take it at a glance. If you want to know details of something, so if he goes down, for example, the Finch Q on your watches right now that's on the App Store, you can't talk to it. This Finch Q here, it can talk to me and tell me why it went down, right? So I'm going to put it back to voice. Hey Q, how is my Finch score?
Your Finch score is 92, and it has remained steady at that level.
Wow, mine's better.
So how Finch score is calculated? It's measuring...
It seems your message was incomplete. Please let...
It's listening to you. So, let's kill it.
It seems your message is still incomplete. Please provide more details or ask your question directly so I can assist you effectively.
What's the trend with my Finch
It
score?
appears your message is unclear. If you have a specific...
We'll start over. What is my Finch score?
And it has remained steady at that level.
Is there a trend you can talk about?
The trends in your metrics show several positive changes alongside some areas of concern. 1.
So now it goes in detail, right? So whatever level you need, you want to just don't give me PhD stuff. Just give me the flat out. Give me the flat out. I want to learn about this all that I can. You can. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it. Okay. And then the Finch Q that you have on your wrists, you can send a report to your doctor. The next Finch Q reports actually are going to give you intelligence on the factors of that report to assist your doctor get to the point as fast as he can. Okay? They can use it or not, that's their problem, but it may narrow them down a little bit. Okay? I always tell the story of my wife feeling palpitations, going to the cardiologist. Of course, when she goes there, she's feeling fine. And then he says, "You're fine, go home." She comes home, palpitations again. She goes back, says, "Well, we'll put a Holter on you," measures you for 24 hours. And she comes home with the Holter, and guess what? What do you guys think happened?
Feels fine.
Nothing happened. Goes back with the Holter, they read it, there's nothing. You're making stuff up, right? Go home. As soon as she goes home, what happens?
Palpitations.
Palpitations, right? So I'm like, take an ECG, print a report, take it to the cardiologist. She does that. He just puts his face to it, that's it. He already knows what's going on. Then wouldn't it cost the price of the Holter? Wouldn't it cost time and money for 3 cardiologist visits? Right? Plus ECG, plus everything. She had PVCs, too much coffee. So the heart was beating a bit too fast, too early. That's all, just stop drinking coffee. Fixed, problem fixed. That problem could have been fixed on the phone. Not 3 cardiology visits, a Holter, probably 2 ECGs in the. So, need I say more? Right? That's the goal. And that is not just for the ECG, it's for the whole picture of you that on our everyday lives we're producing this information. It translates into our movements, it translates into our breathing, it translates into our speech, it translates into answers. And then we put some intelligence to it so that you don't have to go to the hospital for that expensive way of looking at it. So that you don't get sick. And if you are getting sick, your doctor needs to fix it right away before it gets out of hand. Believe me, your doctor doesn't want you to go to the hospital either. The hospital wants you to go to the hospital.
So are we putting Finch on our phones today?
Not today.
No.
You gotta give me a little time. I'm doing the whole thing now. Okay? As you know, Drew had a baby. He can't stay up at night with me. Okay? I easily stay until 1 in the morning working on this. There's no way he can do it with the young baby. Okay? So then I get up at 5. So 4 hours of sleep. Right? I do get a little tired on my drive home now to Tampa. I'm like, so, but it's gonna be, do you remember when I said it would be done? Around the holidays? When did I say it was gonna be done?
6 months.
6 months, that would be June. Then I changed my mind because I'm moving fast, and I thought I can do it by May. Okay? And now I'm working as hard as I can to see if I can do it by April.
Easter bunny.
But don't put a gun to my head, because I'll do my best. But I want to get this out as fast as possible because it's better.
So if many of us are not here when you get it done.
So you will be getting notifications on your Finch that you have now that will give you instructions on what to do. Because I'm gonna have to we cannot have 2 apps with the same name, and technically now it's a different app. I still want it to be Finch Q. But right now it's Finch space Q. I'm gonna put Finch Q all together, so it's one word, Finch Q. Okay? I'm gonna tell you, hey, it's gonna go offline, and the other one's gonna come online. Go on the App Store, download it. Okay? I'm gonna figure out a way for your subscription to transfer over. If it doesn't transfer over, just cancel the old one, because over time I'm gonna just kill the app anyway, because I'm not gonna have 2 apps, one that's a dumb cousin, right, to the smart one. And now, if you look at, because the phone is so much easier to do things, let me show you how subscriptions look like. Oh, by the way, for the folks that are here, you can have for free, I'm not trying to push a subscription, so the free, for the first month, we give you everything for free, and then after that is over, you lose some of the features, because a lot of these features cost us money to maintain, right? But you still have a device, an app that does you benefit, and you can use it for free forever. So, but if you want all the bells and whistles, then it's subscription, okay? So people are always curious about, oh, how much this, how much that, and when we were first building the app, we didn't even know yet. You're gonna see exactly how much, because I'm gonna go here, so it's a padlock, it's locked right now, it's not subscribed, I'm gonna open it up to everything. So if you are one person, that's $29.99 per month for one person. But if you do a family plan, that's up to 6 people. So if you have you and your kids and their in-laws, for example, you can put everybody on one family, and that's $49.99 per month for all 6. So it's like, how much is that? Like $9, $8, $7 something per person. Yeah. I'm sure somebody's gonna fact check my math. Anyway, so that is if you want to do it. This is a prototype, so I'm gonna subscribe, and it's not gonna charge me because it's a prototype. All right. But what I wanted to show is this. If I go down here, I can redeem discount codes. So if for any reason I can't, whoever's subscribed and I can't transfer you over, don't worry, you will get a discount code. And we give you, so then later you can subscribe if you want to subscribe. Okay? I don't want to tell people to subscribe, because you should only subscribe if there's something in that subscription that you need, or that you like, or that you use. So the market needs to tell me that I'm giving value to people, right? So if you don't see the value for it, I am perfectly happy for you to use the free version. It's totally fine. Use the free version.
Will there be a directory showing the free version versus subscription?
So we have it on the App Store. Right now it already shows that. And on the watch, on the subscription part, you can go there and it tells you some bullets.
I think we're probably gonna put on the web page.
We'll put a web page on, and because now you're on the phone, I can put a link in there that brings you to the web page right from the app. As a matter of fact, if you noticed or not, this is an iPod, and we're going to put our podcasts right there, so you can listen to our, get to our podcasts right from the app as well. Okay.
What app do you go to on your phone?
Well, this app that doesn't, you don't have it yet.
Oh, okay.
We're building it. We're building this that I'm talking
You can't
about.
go to your app. 'cause
Yeah, you can't
don't
go
have
it yet.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm on subscription, and if I go here at the bottom, I could redeem a code. So if for any reason there's no way for me to transfer over your subscriptions to the new app, I'm gonna just give you the code, and then we'll sunset the other app, and then you can redeem the code. So because of the television, it's showing really small here, but I could put the code in here and then just say redeem the code, and then it will do what it does,
For the folks online and for the new people here, you promise you're gonna show what they can have now on your watch. So if you can do it,
That's right.
it would be nice.
So what you have right now on the App Store is the dumb cousin, okay? And the dumb cousin, I'm gonna show you on my watch. So what you're seeing is my phone. I'm gonna mirror my watch right here. So what you'll be seeing here is my watch. Okay? As soon as it connects here, sometimes the internet in San Francisco is not the best. So it looks at all the data that we've been talking about. It's just not as smart talking to you about it and explaining it to you and reporting and making connections of what does this mean if this and that is, occurring.
There you go.
So that's my watch right there. And this thing here is the app that's on the App Store. Okay. So if I tap in there, first of all, when it's like that, it's always working. Never goes to sleep. If you don't have it here, if you didn't place it here, it's zombie. It went to sleep. It's not even paying attention to you. If you want it to be on the job all the time, it has to be here. And when I touch here, it's going to open and is learning right now. Basically, it's looking at the data that it has, looking at your heart rate, looking at how fast you've been walking. And it gave me the equivalent to that credit score. That's that number over there, this number over here. Your notifications come over here. If I want to look at my fitness, I go here. And if I want to look at my settings, I go here. So I'm going to go here for you guys to see. There's a red dot in there. That means it's right now. The best I can do is tap here for it to give me, it's telling me that this is a subscription. So I'm going to go subscribe real quick. Give it a minute. Depends on, this has to go through the internet. There we go. All right, I'm all set. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, what's going on with me today? And you were right. So it's gathering everything, applied intelligence. And now you would have to read it. You would read it. Very vague, very general terms. If I want to know a detail about it, you can't give it to me. That's what the watch can do. Okay? That's what's on the App Store right now. I'm going to show you what's coming to the watch on the App Store.
Hello. To show that you can have the progress for the physicians with what's on the watch.
Yes.
People don't know that.
So the difference now is that the new watch part is also smarter. Okay, it's not just on the phone, but on the watch. So I'm going to get out of this app. This is what's on the App Store. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to my prototype here. See how I have two of them? That's my prototype. That's the new app. That's what I'm going to go on. The number is going to be slightly different because I'm still working on it. It's learning.
Here it comes.
Okay, so it's 3 points off because I'm working with the algorithm. I'm going to go, instead of tapping here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go talk to Q. Q is my agent. That's like 007 secretary. All right, that's it. Now here, for me to talk to, because it's the watch, it's hard to just carry a conversation, so I made it so you have to tap with the finger. Thank you. How is my ECG today? And I'm just going to send it. And
Your ECG today shows a sinus rhythm with an average heart rate of 86 BPM.
so it will be almost like a text. So I'm gonna, if I want to talk to it again, rather than me just saying all these things to you and trying to make sense of what I'm saying and get confused because you asked for my ECG, now you're talking about me, right? So now I'll tap on the microphone again, I'll tell it again, I'll send it to it, and it's just on the watch. So if you leave your phone at home, you still have it, right? But this is where it collects all the things, okay? So, for new folks, this is how you send stuff to your doctor, for example. If you're gonna see on the current app, and let's say you've seen your cardiologist and you wanna give him information that you have, Just like the story of my wife, right, with the palpitations situation. You would want to come armed to make that visit as efficient and as useful to both of you, you and your doctor, as best as you can. Maybe you just have that one visit and you're done. You get it taken care of, right? So I would go here and I would send a report to that doctor. If I know their email, I can send an email to them. If not, I'll send an email to myself and then I can print it and bring it to them. Or I can just show it to them on my phone, however you like, right? This is the old way of doing things. So I made lost my connection here. I made a fake doctor there. That's Dr. Finch. It's Dr. A. Finch, because I want it to be right on the top so I don't have to look for it. So that's the guy right there, okay? I'm gonna tap for a doctor report, okay? And on this doctor report, I need to choose what kind of doctor he is. Is he a general practitioner? Is he a neurologist, a cardiologist, or a physical therapist? So we said he was a cardiologist. So I'm gonna choose the cardiology report, and the watch builds me a report on a spot with fresh data. It already did. Now it's telling me to send it. I can send it now to whoever I want. If I have that doctor's email, I'll send it to them. On this case, I will send it to that doctor, to Jack Finch. All right, so I'm gonna go, whoop, I tapped on my wife. I don't want to freak her out. So I'm gonna send it, I can send it by text or by email. I'm gonna go ahead and send it by email. I'm gonna add him right there. That's why I made his name A. Jack. Put him on top. And I'm just gonna send it. It went, right? So let's go take a look. See if he's on my email. And there it is, okay? It came from me to this email, all right? And this is what you would bring it to your doctor or you send it to your doctor. And I'll show you sideways here, okay? So the ECG that I just took, so if I had my palpitations, I would take that ECG right now. It would have the palpitations in it, right? And I want to show that to my doctor. Plus, on the new one, Q would already give you a hint of what that is, right? Q is not a doctor, but it will give you good questions to ask when you see your doctor, right? And then it will give you a bunch of other charts for your doctor to go through. At a glance, really quick for them. They know what they're looking at. Chun, 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 chun. Okay? And that makes them much better informed on what is going on. Right? So if you check your blood pressures daily, he takes it. You check your weight daily, he takes it. Check your blood sugar daily. And then everything else that the watch takes on its own. Your pulse ox, heart rates of different kinds. How fast you walk, how good your balance is. On and on and on and on and on. Okay? That's it for today.
No, no, challenge.
I know.
Oh, this is wonderful, and
Oh, thank you.
Ray got the watch, and
She's gonna get one.
and I'm gonna get one, we're gonna go that way. And so but now I need to look at practical things,
Mm-hmm.
like, if I fall, is there gonna be an app a place on this where it'll say, okay, you have fell, who do you want me to contact, and how do you want, is that going to be available?
It is already available.
Okay, so things
So-
like that are available,
Yes.
it's gonna be available.
So the Apple Watch natively identify falls.
Okay,
So if someone falls or he thinks someone falls, it brings an alert and says, it looks like you fell, and I'm gonna call 911 in 10, 9,
okay,
8. That's the watch.
Okay.
That is not Finch Q.
right,
We could have done it, but then you would have two things going on at the same time, no need.
okay,
But Finch Q goes and is looking at it. So he knows that there was a fall. And then let's say you fell because you passed out.
okay,
You can't stop the call and you can't say you're okay. The watch automatically, Finch Q, on Finch Q you create a report. Did you see how I had the doctor there? So we have different teams. You have a doctor team. That's for when you choose to give your doctor information. You have a personal team. Personal team, in my opinion, it would be you are his personal team, and she is your personal team, right? So
Right.
he kind of, whatever Finch Q tells you, he lets her know too. You choose to do that. So if you want to keep secrets, you don't have to. If you, right? My hope is that my parents would put me on the team so that I know without being nosy, right? So the idea here is that we actually prevent the fall in the first place.
Okay.
But not all falls are preventable. But when he does send that, Finch grabs that, and then if you respond, it says, I'm okay. I fell, but I'm okay. So these are the options. You don't respond, emergency. You respond with, I fell, but I'm okay. Okay. Or, I didn't fall, which happened to me. I was chopping wood, and he thought I fell, right? So, depending on that answer, he lets her know. There was a fall alert, but he said he didn't fall and he's okay. You're in the know, you're at Walmart, fine, okay, I don't have to rush home. Or, oh my God, he fell and he didn't even, 911 is coming to the house. I have to, okay?
So this is in addition to what you get on your Apple Watch?
This is Finch Q will send you a text
Okay,
message.
I got, okay, so that's great, that's wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question,
Yeah.
just to make sure
So-
we're not losing anything.
Yeah, because we want to cover all bases, right? The primary goal is to prevent the fall from happening in the first place, but
Right.
things do happen,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then when they do happen, it needs to act accordingly. The Apple Watch on its own, without Finch Q, will call 911, right? What we're trying to do is to get earlier and not have the fall happen. But when it does call 911, Finch goes and looks at it, sends you a text message with his response. Okay? But ideally, if it was a preventable fall, ideally, it would already be giving you ideas like, oh, your heart rate is really going low. You know, every so often your heart rate goes to 40. That's not normal. Sooner or later, you're going to pass out, right? Or you'll be measuring your blood pressure, and then your balance is off, and then Q will say, your balance is off. How are you feeling? And you may say, well, when I get up, I feel dizzy, right? Or something like that. Finch Q will tell you something of this sort. If this happens when you get up, there's a few things we need to check. We would like to guide you on how to check your blood pressure for what we call orthostatic hypotension. This is the people that stand up and pass out. They're fine when they're sitting or lying down. Finch Q will guide you through how to do that like your doctor would have done it. Like I do it in the hospital, right? Because a lot of people come to the hospital because they fell from passing out. We measure the blood pressures, like a bunch of them. Lying down, then standing for a minute, and standing for 3 minutes. And Finch Q will guide you through that for you to do that. That saves you 3 days in a hospital. You do that already. You call your doctor. I'm sending you a report. These are my orthostatics. What do I do about it? And most of the time, I'm no doctor of medicine, I'm a doctor of physical therapy, but most of the time your doctor will say, yeah, you know, I gave you a Tylenol and we need to cut down the dose. You're giving too much. You're giving too much. Or it may be that you're just dehydrated.
Clear this, that Apple Watch does not check the blood pressure, you have manually.
Blood pressure, you have to use a blood pressure machine. The Apple Watch doesn't check. the
Right,
blood pressure.
but this will,
Well, no, you have to use a machine. This will read it.
this will read it.
You read
Okay.
it. There's two kinds of machines you can get. You can get a machine like everybody else always got a machine. You can even get one of those that you have to squeeze like that. All right? But then you have to input on Finch Q what the readings were.
Right.
Or you can get for like $30 on Amazon or Walmart or Target, whatever. You can get one that talks to the Apple Watch and it automatically sends it. So the same scale, like I have a scale at home.
Right, you get on that and then you.
So I'm not diabetic, but I check my blood sugar once in a while for this, and my blood pressure and my weight. So I got all of them Wi-Fi enabled, and I step on the scale, and that's it. Finch Q already knows
Oh, okay.
what my weight is. I check a blood pressure, Finch Q already knows what it is. But it costs money. If you have already your stuff, we thought of it, and we made it in a place that you just quickly input it. I'll show you here real quick. We made it like super simple.
Rob, you still have the question, right? Rob, you have the question.
So if I want to do, I don't want to spend money with a new blood pressure machine. No problem.
We have one, or we do
You
have one.
go manual logging and just put it in manually. Say there's weight,
So then we can lie.
there's your blood sugar. You'll be lying to yourself.
Yes. Well, I don't even read as much.
And then your blood pressure. All right, so let's say today my blood pressure was
Great.
123 over 83 or 84. I just saved it. When I saved it, I already told what my measure was. Finch already knows. Puts that on the calculation.
But that's the future, but right now, even with this version, you can
You
still
already
run
can do it. You can do it on the watch. Same thing.
That was only my one question, the rest of it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob has the question,
You-
Armin, and we have,
30 for 30?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. So we have this challenge that we created for the year of 2025 called 30 for 30. And it's just to make it catchy because it means 30 seconds for 30 days.
So it was 30 for
February had
28.
only 28 days. So it was
Now it's 30
30 for
31.
28. Now it's 30 for
Just do
31.
it twice.
So the first month we did squats because strength on the lower extremities here is important to keep people from falling. Falls are multifactorial, right? If you're passing out and fall is one reason. If you're tripping and falling is another reason. If you just get weak and fall, it's another reason, right? So we are addressing a multitude of situations, making as thorough as possible. So the first month was squats, and people would do 30 seconds of squats, as many as they could reasonably, without paying comfortably. Month 2, we did balance, and it was standing in one leg for 15 seconds on each leg for a
That was
total
so
of,
much fun.
and
and we thank you for,
it's hard.
and you did a great job. The
All of you.
progress which we see, it's unbelievable.
All of you aced, okay? It's not about doing like the other guys doing, it's about how are you doing when you started, how are you doing now, right? So every month we throw in a new challenge, and it's gonna be either strength, balance, or coordination, okay? Today's challenge,
Is coordination. No, no.
We could make a lot of money.
Strength.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a chair.
Chair.
today,
We
if
should
you
just
think,
make a guessing game.
we're gonna do it like this. Make sure I'm on the.
I know.
Oh,
Simon says.
no.
All right, so the previous ones were standing, and they got harder.
Armin, move a little more this way.
Okay,
Just so.
so we're gonna make it
That's good.
sitting,
Sitting, all
Sit
right.
down
but it
again.
will be harder,
Oh, okay.
okay? So this one is called gaze stabilization.
Gaze, stabilization.
Gaze stabilization. We're gonna start messing with training your vestibular system. Okay? Very important for balance. Balance is a
There
multifactorial
you go.
Procedure.
system. Okay? It involves your inner ears, it involves your eyes, involves sensors on all your major joints, and involves strength, involves a whole bunch of things. Cognition, right? So we are addressing each time, each month, some part of it. We started with the simplest, just strength. Now we're getting to something a little more complicated, which you must be doing sitting. So if you realize, I turn my head, and I'm still looking at Miss Morris over there. And I can keep my eyes on her, it doesn't matter where my head goes, my eyes can be right on her. She's on my crosshairs. Right? I can do it like this, just to shop at the grocery store. You're looking, you're walking around, and your head is to the side, and you're maintaining your balance going in one direction, looking at another direction, and you're keeping your eyes as you're walking on the things that you're trying to find. Okay? So the coordination in between your head position
You better have a walk.
and where your eyes are gazing, it's like this awesome, awesome, awesome reflex. Very complex. Then we take it for granted. And then people say you shouldn't take things for granted. No, you should take things for granted. That's when everything is working just right. Because if you're gonna be worried about how everything is, you drive yourself crazy, because there's so many systems working all the time that you're not supposed to be cognizant of it. They are supposed to work on the automatic, just like your Apple Watch should be doing all these things for you on the automatic, without you having to sit down with pen and paper and try to figure things out. So, we want to improve this reflex by training it, okay? Imagine I started martial arts today. The first belt they give me is a white belt. And they're gonna test me. And somebody throws a punch in my face. Do you think I can block the punch from a black belt to my face if I'm a white belt? Odds are no. They're gonna be fast, with technique, and I don't have the reflex to block it. But I continue to block it. I have trained my reflexes. That's what we're gonna be doing with this vestibular ocular reflex. Basically, it's the reflex that happens where I maintain my gaze in a place, but my head moves around and I still can keep my eyes zeroed in on it. The reason why you have to do this sitting is you can get a little dizzy until you get better. So you do it sitting, sit it when you're done for a little bit to make sure everything is back to normal before you get up. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate slowly how it's done. So you're going to use your own thumbnail and you're going to stick it in front of you. Okay? And then I'm going to lock my crosshairs right on my nail. And I'm going to turn my head halfway out to one side, keeping my crosshairs on that nail. Then I'm going to go to the opposite side, halfway, keeping my gaze on that nail. And I'm just going to do this for 30 seconds, as fast as I can, reasonably, without losing sight of my nail. And it's already disorienting me a little bit.
22 seconds to go.
Going that fast. That means I need to train this, actually,
15 to go.
badly, because I'm working really hard right now, in case you don't know. It doesn't look like I'm doing any work.
5 to go.
Please stop.
Done.
It is hard. It is hard.
It's cracking. Yeah.
Well, that's extra. No extra charge for the network. You have to do it to what is reasonable to you, right? Remember when I did squats? I am certain you wouldn't do squats head to head with me, right? I'm a little younger. I am a martial artist. I can do things a little. Doing is you're comparing yourself to yourself. All that matters is that tomorrow you're a little bit better than you were today, right? And then each month there is a new challenge. Now, they're only 30 seconds. It wouldn't hurt to keep adding them on top of each other. So you'd still be doing squats, you'd still be doing one-legged standing, you'd still be doing the gaze stabilization, right? But this month's challenge is gaze stabilization. You're gonna do your pace.
Yes.
I'm gonna do my pace. It doesn't help me if I slow down for you guys to keep up with me. It doesn't help you to speed up to keep up with me.
Say what it is again.
Gaze,
Gaze.
my gaze.
Gaze stabilization.
Stabilization. I'm stabilizing my gaze.
Gaze stabilization.
Podcast coming this weekend. You will be able to read more.
There will be a podcast, yes.
Okay.
There will be a conversation explaining to you how
Do
this
we have to
thing,
do the thumb or can we pick a spot?
you can't pick a spot. I didn't want to make it complicated and give you too many options. Robert suggested that, and I like, no, it's too many options. And then you ruined it.
What should we do first?
Well, we're gonna do the gaze stabilization, the one I just taught. But this time I'm gonna do it like you see me doing it every morning before I go to work, which is when I post my video for everybody to do it. Now, this thing is about awareness. So the more you share, the more people find out about it, and then they start doing it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
People in
right?
California are doing this. In Indiana, Michigan. I'm surprised.
But
In Maine.
I would like people doing it in India.
They don't even know that
Malaysia.
this is us in Zephyr Hills
The
starting.
problem is when they text you and say, why haven't you been posting? Whenever you post, I get up and do it with you.
Here we go.
Then Shame
That's
on you for
beautiful.
not vibrates on my wrist, because I'm gonna be busy.
You can tell it too.
Then it's just gonna tell me to, yeah, you can tell it, right? So just run a timer. So that you focus on what you're doing and not, like Robert was telling me, the countdown. But
Show me.
at home tomorrow morning, when I do it, Robert won't be there, I promise you. So,
Sorry.
are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Here we go, I'm gonna run the timer. It's 30 seconds. You go halfway in each direction, as fast as you can without losing your gaze, and make it reasonable. On the count of 3, 2, 1, go. Keep your eyesight on your nail. Your nail needs to be on your crosshairs. And you keep your both eyes open. And that's 30 seconds.
Really, that was fast.
It doesn't take long.
Wow.
That's the point. It's 30 seconds a day. Anyone can squeeze 30 seconds here and there. It could be the, oh, you put the coffee to brew. Sit down and do that. But I will tell you, don't get up and walk right now. Give it a few seconds, because you basically shook your head around, right? It's kind of like if I took you through a roller coaster. Before you step out of that roller coaster, settle a little bit, okay? We're going to say goodbye to the folks online. This is it for broadcasting, and we'll see you live on Facebook tomorrow for another 30 seconds.
I gotta go too. I gotta see that.
If you guys have questions, we are here.
Robert couldn't find something in my
Because
mind.
when we balance, when we balance and jazzercise, you know, you basically get something to focus on to make it balance.
What's that?